Yeah, it's terrible. His queen has only one square to guard his knight from, and that's on it. Goodbye. Oh, knight takes knight. Ooh, what do you want, a medal? Guess what? Here's a double attack for you. F7 and a queen. Queen takes, check. Check. I'm going to play queen takes G7. That's what's going to happen. Easy money. Oh, my specialty. Now, let's brute force this for the simplest thing is pawn takes. This is probably not the right answer, but we're going to check it anyway. So you don't want to go, well, this is not going to work. Just check it. Take this pawn check. King takes. King takes. Now, at this point, we've both taken these pawns. I queen in 4 moves. He still has to take another pawn. So he's got to go 1, A4. 2, F5. A3, F6. A2. That can't be right. Taken. I'm A4. He takes a pawn. A3, F5. A2, F6. Queen, check. You lose. This does win. But you got to make sure. See, I'm moving first. Wait a second, yeah. No, it's A4, F5. If I get him with check, that's the key. Check again. This is, okay, this is in one of the exception positions. Queen versus king and pawn on the bishop file in the 7th rank is a draw, except when he has an extra pawn that's not connected. Because what happens is we're going to essentially get him, one of the defenses is you work your way with checks, and this is just a basic thing. We end up checking him here. Queen to G6 check. The standard defense to this position is king to the corner. Haha, you can't take me, it's a draw because it's a stalemate. But with an extra pawn, it's not a stalemate, you just take the pawn. So you check him, and he can't go to H8 for defense. He has to go in front of the pawn, and that's when you get him. Every time he goes in front of the pawn, this turns into a normal queen versus pawn on the B, the G, E, D, and B files. Because every time he goes in front of the pawn, the king moves 1 notch forward. He gets out of the way, threatens the queen, you check, check, check. King in front of the pawn, king comes in. You're going to checkmate this guy, is what's going to happen. Because he has 1 pawn too many, he loses. If this pawn is gone on H3, it's a draw. But with the pawn on H3, it's a dead loss. This is what comes from the study of queen versus pawn on the 7th rank. So I've given you this information, and something I learned when I was like 1300. So it's very easy to learn. It's not a high skill chess concept, but it's a concept that you use because look, this is a 2661 problem that I ate like it was just candy because I mastered queen versus pawn in the 7th rank back when I was 1300, which was like 1981. So, whatever, dude. That is the dealio. Whatever, dude. If you learn these basic concepts, they magnify your power over time. Won a lot of games against good players because I was able to recognize queen versus pawn in the 7th rank and when it's winning and when it's drawing. Got me a lot of points. So, and that is a little bit different too because, okay, yeah, it got me a lot of rating points, but rating points don't mean what you think they might mean. It's like the rating points are a reflection of your skill after you attain that skill. So, I'd like to have a high rating. Well, if you didn't earn it, it doesn't mean anything. It's just, it's false. You're going to gain the skills playing chess, and then your rating will increase. Now, you might catch a break here and there and win a game that, for whatever reason you weren't supposed to win it. You were playing bad or a guy made a mistake. And then you'll get points that, you can technically be overrated. It's hard, but it can happen. Generally speaking, your rating is lagging behind your actual progress. So there you go. So let's see what we got here. Well, we got double attack on f2. It looks to me that the obvious move is queen to h4, putting a triple attack on f2 as well as a double attack on h2. So queen h4 threatens to checkmate him on h2. He'd have to play h3. Everything else loses. g3 loses the checkmate. So if we play queen h4, h3, then we could just play knight takes f2. And what are you going to do? He could play, well, he can't play knight f3 attacking our queen. Oh, actually, you know what? He could play knight f3. Queen h4, knight f3. That is the correct response, actually. Then we're kind of in trouble. So, apparently, that's not the way to go. We do have knight takes f2, rook takes f2, queen to h4, but g3 would be nasty. So we have bishop takes f2 check. And if he plays rook takes f2, we could play queen to b6. That doesn't look like it's doing anything. He just plays queen to e1. We double attack, he double defends. We're not winning this. Well, we might also have... Oh, you're killing me. What about knight to h2? There's some combo of this that's killing. And I'm just trying to figure out what the combo is. Knight to f3 is a real pain. We have another idea. Bishop to d4. But he just plays bishop to b2. And his bishop isn't a problem to me. You also got to watch out. Queen is attacking our g4 knight. So you got to think what's going on here. But my gut reaction move doesn't seem to be too hot. But queen h4, because knight f3 is nasty. It's super nasty. I don't have a way to kill that knight. I was thinking queen h4, knight f3, bishop takes f2 check, which is pretty good actually. And then maybe could I move to just like queen to h5? Can we just take this? Queen h4 check. Queen h4 is not check. Queen h4, triple attack. Knight f3. Bishop takes knight check. Bishop takes pawn check. He can't play rook takes. Well, he could play it, but we're going to play queen takes check. Well, that would win the exchange for us. Good for us. Queen h4. Rook takes f2 is, I think, terrible. Oh, yeah, it's terrible because queen takes pawn check, followed by knight e3. It's really bad. So, queen h4, knight f3, bishop takes pawn check, king to h1. And we can just play queen to h5, right? I mean, he's got nothing. Queen to h5. We've stolen a pawn in broad daylight, but I mean, and then we're threatening knight to e3. Well, no, we're not because he's got a bishop there. But we're threatening bishop to the bishop to g3. Sorry, we're threatening that move. And this move looks pretty good. Now, queen h4 looks good. Now, is there anything else that's remotely decent? Knight takes, rook takes. It's just not good. He can slides his queen over there. Queen h4. Oh, wait a second. No. Yeah, we play bishop takes check. Rook to here. Yeah, queen h4 doesn't work. He plays g3 because we can't take this with checkmate because the bishop is not pinning it. If we play knight takes, rook takes, queen h4 doesn't work because he just brings his queen over because we're not threatening mate because the knight's gone. The only way we get to threaten everything is queen h4. h3. It's the same thing if check here. h3, check. Well, actually, h3, knight takes f2 is better because we're attacking the queen and now threatening that. This move looks like a killer. And that's not the move. That looked like the move. Oh, it's check, you idiot. Ugh. He takes my queen, I take his queen with check and pick up this free knight. Idiot. My mistake. Okay, we're just going to take this with check. King into the corner. Check. No, he can't do that. We can double check him though. Watch this. Double check. King takes is forced. Queen to here is check and you're mated. Double check. Alright, eat that, baby. Well, pretty mediocre. Pretty mediocre. Made a mistake on this dude. I realized it too late. My spidey senses were correct. Queen h4 is the right move, right from the instantaneous observation, but it was the discovered check that's the killer. Because knight takes queen. Knight takes queen, discovered check. He goes in the corner. I go knight takes knight. And he ends up with bishop, bishop, and knight. Hey, wait a second. Yeah, he ends up with he loses this knight. And his bishop is under attack. And my knight would just escape by knight takes b5. So he drops a piece. I think this is super instructive. Now, normally, when this happens, there's going to be a pawn here. So that's kind of the weird part. But that's okay. That was real solid. I don't know. This was a good king and pawn endgame. So we'll keep this dude.